Jim, we have got to talk about China because, you know, I come in here in the morning and over the weekend I've got so many things on China. One, their property has inflated so much that they've had to throw water on this hot-fired market up. Then I'm also seeing that they're passing the U.S. in their use of oil. So it seems so schizophrenic that one minute we're talking about how on fire China is, and then the next minute we're talking about how their growth is slowing.
Right, 60 Minutes talking about the empty buildings, see-through. China's a conundrum for a couple of reasons. One is that they are energy hogs, but also pollution creators. We would never let that happen in our country where greenhouse gases are going down, or in the continent of Europe. So they're a totally unfair player. They can pollute the heck out of the world and can export with a cheap currency. On the other hand, we need them. We need them. So we need them to be able to buy our bonds. We need them as a consumption market for a lot of our companies. They are the reason why oil stays high, okay, because they keep importing and importing and importing.
They are sucking it down.
Right,
like
and
no
that's why oil's at 90 and not 80, with the dollar being strong and our glut. So in many ways, they're the epicenter of everything that's going wrong in the world right now. They have to tighten because they speculated too much. They are almost as if they're off the rails. That said, they are responsible for a lot of the world's growth. They're responsible. You can't get Caterpillar over 110 if they don't do well. Cummins has to be over 130. Action Alerts owns United Technologies. That's a big China play. We got rid of Emerson. We got rid of the FXI. We got rid of a lot of the oils because they are all China plays. So they are I have very mixed emotions about them. I think the people are great. They work really hard. I think the government doesn't play fair. And we're seeing a lot of things come home to roost right now, that they spent too much money, they encourage too much speculation. They are not cut. They should be spending all their money on trying to crack down on pollution like the rest of the world. They're unfair players, and to me, it's infuriating.
Well, where do you think their growth is going? Because we're seeing that they've declined the most in 5 months, their pace, and it's just very confusing. I mean, are they slowing, or are they still really very strong, but they're pretending to be, you know, they're trying to obfuscate that they're still growing?
Well, Deborah, they have 400 million people are moving from rural to urban, although we heard Foxconn moving their plans to rural because there's such a mismatch. There are labor shortages throughout China in the city, so you know that those buildings are going to be filled. They will be filled. It's just taking a little longer time. You don't need more buildings, so you'd like to see them cut back in that, but you need to see infrastructure. They have a water and sewage system that's 100 years old, and there's much that the government should focus on that would not be as counterproductive as what the private sector is doing. But I hold hopes that China will be rational when the new government really takes hold in March. I don't want to sell American derivative plays on China that are soft goods, like a Pepsi or a Procter, or even a GE on hard goods. But I respect the fact that the demographic trends are very much in China's favor in terms of rural to urban. But boy, I wish that they would play fair. They do not play fair.
All right, Jim. Well, they certainly don't play fair, and that makes it even harder for our markets to figure out what they're going to do. So keep your eye on China, and especially keep your eye on what's going on in China in March.